Watershed Management Chapter 12 GIS and Remote Sensing in Watershed Management. The assessment of natural disaster risks such as drought, flood has increasingly relied on the integration of GIS and remote sensing, transforming how early warnings, vulnerability mapping, and resource planning are executed. A compelling example of this application can be found in the flood-prone Brahmaputra River Basin in Assam and the drought-prone districts of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. In Assam, the Brahmaputra and its tributaries frequently cause devastating floods due to intense monsoonal rainfall, glacier melt contributions, and sediment heavy river flows. To address this, the Northeastern Space Application Center (NESAC), under the Department of Space, collaborated with Assam State Direct Disaster Management Authority to implement a GIS-based flood early warning system. Multi-temporal satellite imagery from IRS-P6, MODIX, and Sentinel-1A SAR sensors were used to detect changes in river width, floodplain water inundation, and land elevation. These data were combined with the rainfall forecast from IMD and real-time water level data from Central Water Commission. GIS platforms then processed this dataset to generate flood risk maps with village-level precision. Critical infrastructure, human settlements, and agricultural lands were overlaid to predict zones of high exposure. The system successfully provided 48 hours early warnings, allowing preemptive evacuation of vulnerable communities and safeguarding of assets. In southern India, particularly in Anantapur and Mehbubnagar district, which are highly vulnerable to drought, remote sensing data from NOAA, ABHRR, and MODIS were utilized to monitor soil moisture anomalies, rainfall deviation, land surface temperature, and vegetation health using NDVI. The Mahalanobis National Crop Forecast Center MNCFC under the Ministry of Agriculture integrated this data set with long-term climatic data in GIS environments to create a drought vulnerability atlases. These enabled state government to prioritize drinking water supplies, implement mid-season crop advisories, and activate employment programs like MGNREGS for affected populations. Both these applications fed directly into disaster preparedness planning through the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) and were accessible on digital dashboards such as Bhuvan Disaster Services and the India WRIS portal. By coupling remote sensing data with GIS tools, authorities could not only assess the real-time extent of disasters but also understand the underlying ecological and socio-economical vulnerabilities that exacerbate the risk. This spatial intelligence has become crucial for building climate resilience in India, where over 70% of population is vulnerable to hydrometeorological shocks. The ability to visualize, predict, and act upon disaster data has shifted risk management from reactive to preventive, saving countless lives and livelihoods. The effectiveness of watershed management largely depends on how accurately we understand the geographical feature, water flow direction, elevation, land use, and soil type of an area. GIS or Geographic Information System plays a vital role in making this process easier and more scientific. In rural development, environment management, and water conservation planning, GIS based mapping has become an indispensable tool that enables precise planning and monitoring. In the past, GIS-based mapping required expensive software and experts, making the technology inaccessible to general public. But today, several open-source GIS tools such as QGIS, ILWIS, GrassGIS, and Google Earth Engine have made this technology simple, accessible, and suitable for local use. With the help of these tools, mapping of watershed boundaries, drainage patterns, soil status, land use, and topography of any area is now possible. Thank you.